to the following 25 sports exclusive, Entertainment Tonight, Knight Rider, and Misfits of Science will not be seen tonight, but will return at their regular time. Live from Carver Arena in the Peoria Civic Center, 25 Sports presents Bradley Basketball. Tonight, the Braves shoot for their 7th straight victory against the Ramblers of Loyola. This 25 Sports exclusive is brought to you in part by Coors, the beer with a difference worth tasting. Coors is the one. By Coors Light, the silver bullet. There's no slowing down with the silver bullet. By Cohen's, downstate Illinois' largest home furnisher. And by North Point Video in Peoria and Plaza Video in Morton.
Live from the Carver Arena, the Bradley Braves go in search of national recognition as they put their perfect season on the line in a rematch with the running Ramblers of Chicago Loyola. Good evening, everybody. I'm Frank Bassoni along with Mike Dimmick, and we welcome you to this game in Bradley's search for their 7th win in a row. Before the season started, Mike, Loyola said their best player would be 5'9". As of tonight, it looks like it's a guy 6'9".
Andre Moore is tough. He is averaging about 18 points a game. Carl Golston, who you mentioned, 5'9", supposedly an NBA prospect, is not even the best under 6-foot player in the state. Jimmy Less has proved that so far. He has had a tough year. Loyola's had a tough year at 1-5, but Dick Versace is still very worried. He knows Chicago players. There's a lot of talent over there.
22 Chicago City players on the court. Bradley and Loyola, the starting lineups, and then the play-by-play are coming up next. Stay with us.
Christmas is just around the corner, so don't miss Sherman's 1985 Christmas sale at both the Peoria and Bloomington stores. The video recorder is one of the hottest selling items this year, and they are in very short supply, as recently reported on the national news. We anticipated this heavy demand, but our sales are clipping along at a record-breaking pace.
You owe it to yourself to get the best price. So bring in our competitors' ads and prove it to yourself.
Sherman's Christmas hours are Monday through Saturday, 10 to 8, and Sunday, 12 to 5.
All my little helpers invite you to catch the Christmas spirit here at Goods, the festive fun place everyone will enjoy. Ride the glass elevator for an overview of our vast selection and the sharp discounts. They'll bring a smile to Scrooge himself. Then head for our wine cellar for some hot spiced Alpine wine, lunch, and some of Sister Kathy's fresh baked yummies. So come join the fun and help us say Merry Christmas to all.
Season's greetings from your friends at TV 25.
On November 22nd, the season started in Chicago, and the Bradley Braves derailed a favored Chicago Loyola team 94-84 by surprising Loyola with a 3-2 zone defense with Trevor Trempe at the top of that zone. Tonight, Loyola may be ready for that.
Frank, I talked with Gene Sullivan, the Loyola coach, today, and he says it was exactly that, a surprise. He had never seen Bradley do anything like that. Golston was a little shook up as you take a look at Gene Sullivan, Loyola coach. I think he's got something up his sleeve, though, for this one. He knows he's got to do something to get this team going. He's tried several different starting lineups. They played Notre Dame last Saturday and did not play very well and lost again. And his program has a lot to lose right now. After coming off an NCAA season, a 1-5 start's not the kind of thing that helps you get a lot of recruits back.
Amazingly, their one victory came against the North Carolina State Wolfpack, and they were nationally ranked and regarded, and still nationally regarded, certainly, with Jimmy Valvano's team, and Loyola whipped them. But they lost to Bradley, they lost to Illinois, A lot of teams can do that. They lost at Northwestern. They lost against New Orleans and at Notre Dame in a game they were hopelessly behind at half, only to rally within 3 with 15 straight points. And I think Gene Sullivan is searching for the right chemistry in his lineup.
You don't lose an Alfrederick Hughes, who was a #1 draft choice, and players of that caliber and not suffer a little bit. And Dick Versace, we mentioned at the outset, is still a little bit worried.
No question about Dick Versace's concern, because he knows the Ramblers can shoot the ball. They like to run up and down the court. Loyola would like to get this to be one of those 94-foot games, and Bradley can play that way, and you might see a game in which it takes, again, 90 points to win. Dick set up there. If we can give up 90 and get 91, I'm satisfied. Fans are coming in to the arena in probably the biggest numbers of the year for the first ever appearance of Bradley on the coast-to-coast cable network ESPN. And the game will be broadcast, of course, across the United States, and it'll be on WEDK Channel 25 right here.
This might be the most heavily televised game in the history of college basketball when you count ESPN, TV 25, and the game is also going back to Chicago on Channel 66. We've got a basketball team just of guys doing the game.
We mentioned earlier that this is kind of the game of the city of the big shoulders. 22 players on these two rosters are either from Chicago itself or the suburbs, and these young men know each other. They play against each other in summer leagues. They've played against each other in some cases in high school, and this is quite a rivalry. Bradley is 6-0, and they're rated 26th in the nation in the Sporting News Top 40. We're getting close now to the introduction of the starting lineups for tonight's game. Of course, Loyola from the Midwestern Collegiate Conference is purple and gold. First out will be a 6'4" sophomore, a defensive player and a rebounder. His name is Nate Brooks, 45. You'll notice he's very strong. He started at Notre Dame. For the Braves, Donald Powell, an emerging player for the Braves. 12 points a game, 6'8", 202. He's become a force around the basket. From Dalton, Illinois, a 6'6" junior, 32, is Bobby Clark. Clark also started at Notre Dame, and Dick Versace is seeing a more mobile Rambler lineup. From Havana, another emerging player, 6'7", Trevor Trempe, 34, some nights, tonight, 41. Next out, a 6'9" force, Andre Moore out of Chicago Carver. He's averaging 20 points and 10 rebounds a game. Bradley's center is Mike Williams, averaging 13 points and 9 rebounds a game. He's 6'8" and 255. Good crowd enthusiasm early here. Here's the captain of the Ramblers, Chicago's Carl Golston, 5'9", a senior, transferred out of Wisconsin. Speaking of transfers, Jim Leff, Cleveland State first, and now the captain of the Braves, 15.8 points a game. Be interesting to see how he reacts after his cold shooting night at Marquette. Speaking of shooting, Bernard Jackson can, 6'3", from Chicago Phillips. And for the Braves, the phenomenal Percy Hawkins, 6'3", from Chicago Westinghouse, who's got his average up to 18.5 points a game, shooting 61% for the season. The series is in favor of Bradley, 15-11, and the Braves come into the game 7.5-point favorites. That doesn't mean a thing. They were underdogs at Loyola in game 1. They were also underdogs at Marquette.
Exactly.
The officials for tonight's game are assigned by the Missouri Valley Conference, and we'll have them for you. Tom O'Neill, Jim Brownlee, and Rich Eichhorst. When you see them, you will probably see familiar faces. For those of you who have watched Bradley basketball over the years, particularly Rich Eichhorst and Tom O'Neill have worked many games here. Dick Versace is in his 8th year, now 130 wins and 85 losses, and he's really feeling the high of Bradley's spurt of 6-0, and now ranked 26th in the Sporting News, this new issue.
Well, while we got some time here, we'll tell you this Bradley basketball telecast is protected by broadcast rights granted by Bradley University and the Missouri Valley Conference. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use without the express written consent of TV 25 and Bradley University is prohibited. This is kind of like being at a football game and an NFL game when you're waiting for the TV time. Everybody just kind of standing around waiting for something to happen.
You know, one of the things that have to be in Bradley's mind is that in the first game at Loyola, Jim Les and Hersey Hawkins got 50 points between them, 5-0, and it's unlikely to expect that they can do that again, or at least better than that. So someplace else will have to provide some scoring punch besides the backcourt.
I would think teams certainly might take a page out of Marquette's book and really center their defense around Jim Les. Now, while Marquette lost anyway at the expense of Hersey Hawkins, if you stop Jim Les and do it consistently, you've got a good chance of beating the Braves. We'll watch what Loyola does.
You want to see a center that'll probably play in the NBA someday. 41 is Andre Moore. And he goes into the middle at 6'9", a junior, against senior Mike Williams at 6'8". Loyola, of course, in the traveling purple and gold, the Jesuit institution from Chicago. Bradley, the Missouri Valley Conference representative, playing in their 32nd season, and it's on. Rich Eichhorst didn't like how he threw the ball up. We'll try that again.
That's not a great way to start on national TV.
Les with the ball. Loyola starts man-to-man, their staple defense. Les down the lane. Williams for two.
Jimmy Les is limping coming down the court. He fell down running into Tom Copa at Marquette. It's been sore all week long, and now he's hobbling a little bit on defense.
He's really hobbling. Bradley's playing a 1-3-1 zone with Les at the top. Right corner is Jackson, 12. Until you get familiar, we'll use the names and numbers more often. Anthony Manuel gets off the Bradley bench. That'll be for Les. Golston. Jackson rebounds and scores. Bernard Jackson, a guard who can rebound. Now Les looks like he's a little more fluid with that upper left thigh problem. Trempe out top. Trempe's guarded by Golston, and Trempe's 6'7". Hawkins. Andre Moore walk.
That time Jimmy hit the floor, and now he's going to walk out of the game as Manuel, and we're taking a look at Jimmy. He comes over to the bench. He says, I'm fine, don't take me out, which means he'll probably be back in about a minute if that's the case.
Anthony Manuel is in, 5'11" freshman, Chicago Crane. He's 22. Donald Powell wheels. Missed. And when he missed the works. Golston up-tempos the game. They call him Go-Go. A minute.
Jimmy Les just ran back in front of us.
Jackson again. Look at Andre Moore to the block by Williams. Count it. Goaltending on Mike Williams against Andre Moore.
Les is now back in the game as we take a look and see if it is indeed a goaltending call. Let you judge for yourself.
Did we see referee Dimmick?
I left my striped shirt at home.
Me too. Les gives to Trempe, who fires. Nate Brooks. Short but a horse at 2:05. Inside Moore, intercepted by Williams. Bradley's watching Andre Moore, who lit it up against the Braves with 25 in the game that opened the season. Bradley's in his own, and Golston shoots over it. Andre Moore. Moore was fouled, and he can go get it.
Before the season, Gene Sullivan said he had to get 20 points a game out of Moore, 20 points out of Carl Golston. Well, he's getting it out of Moore, and you see why. The guy's always around the ball. And that was fortunate that one didn't go in for Bradley.
Great long arms, and Loyola owns the rebounding 6-0. As Moore shoots into a Marquette-like scene of Bradley students and fans.
I guess somebody watched this last Saturday.
5-2, Loyola. 6-2 now as that one falls through, and Bradley's got one hoop, a layup by Mike Williams in the first 2 minutes. Jimmy Les wheels. The basket wouldn't have counted. The foul was first on Powell away from the ball. And they're calling it a lot closer here than they did in our last broadcast from Marquette.
Yeah, they kind of let that one go as as they wanted, and in this one they are watching especially away from the ball. When you got guys like Moore and Williams, you have to be careful the game might get out of control.
1-3-1 trap by the Braves. Falls back into his zone, and Golston goes around less to the right. Here's Bernard Jackson. Bernard Jackson had 17 against Notre Dame like that, and Bradley is 6 points behind in a hurry. Crowd trying to get in the game, and Jackson steals the ball. Goes all the way. Rejected by Williams. Golston Andre Moore. And less. It was a great pass in traffic to the goal. Powell steps in and is blocked. Dick Versace wanted a foul. Golston the other end. More travel.
Wild sequence. Dick Versace, wilder than the players even. He wanted a call on the other end.
He was prowling the sidelines, wanting Tom O'Neill's ear. Bradley trails 8-2. 17 minutes to go in the first half. Bradley shoots for their 7th in a row.
Frank, without a doubt, the most vocal crowd we've heard this season here.
Powell rolls it in. Donald Powell from up top. And Bradley's within 4.
Once again, the half-court trap.
And Dick again is up. This time is traveling you on. And the Bradley zone comes out a little farther to watch for Jackson and Golston. Clark at the top of the key has been pretty much invisible in Loyola's offense so far. Lob inside Moore. Stripped by Trempy. Les behind the back, keeps the dribble. Somehow. All the way in. And blocked. Andre Moore got it. He's a world-class shot blocker. Jackson. This time it's Hersey Hawkins' trigger, and Bradley tries to break. Les walk. Jimmy again, just a little half step off his timing.
Yeah, he's a little tentative. He's hit the floor a couple of times, and I don't know what happened on that first play of the game, but I think he made a sudden movement that he probably has not made all week long in practice, and it just kind of jarred him, and now it's going to take him a little while to get those legs back.
We talked to him after the Marquette game later that night, and he said he was really hurting where he caught that knee up high. Here's Carl Go-Go Golston. Williams takes the shot and sends Bradley running the other way. Jimmy.
I don't know if the legs are back, but the touch is back after a tough game at Marquette.
Bradley scored.
Frank, another key, on that basket was an outlet by Mike Williams. He really snapped it out there.
Inside, the ball goes to Moore. That's where Gene Sullivan would like to see it go more frequently. Jackson steps into the zone. Golston is free, and he got it. Golston's first deuce. He shot 2 out of 15 against Notre Dame. Trempy open. Another rebound for Brooks. Loyola by 4 with the ball. We've just started. Jackson to Golston. 2 in a row.
He came into this one shooting 34%, so he apparently feels better tonight. Loyola leads by 6.
Well, he liked this gym last year, all right. Loyola took a pair from Bradley last year. Bradley tries to return the compliment. They're 6 down as Hersey Hawkins puts it up. Williams, yes!
More for Mike Williams, and he's really looking aggressive on both sides of the court. Here's that trap again.
That's why they call it the city of the big shoulders. And Mike Williams, and a turnover, gives the ball to Bradley. Timeout on the court. The score. Loyola leading the Braves 12-8. We'll be back.
This is the time of year when we gather from far and near, and we welcome the season in, and let all the love begin. And the jokes you tell, and the songs you sing, and the sight of your smile still means everything. And I finally get to say,
Hi, Mama.
Think of you every day. Happy holidays, Coors to you.
From the people at Coors.
I At Shearer Buick Isuzu, we have an early Christmas gift for you. It's simple. We're removing our inventory by removing our profit. That's right, folks. We'll individually price every automobile to remove our inventory by removing our profit. Put the holiday cheer where it belongs, right here in your pocket. This Thursday, Friday, and Saturday only at Shearer's Route 29. From all of us at Shearer Buick Isuzu, have a Merry Christmas.
At Cohen's, we believe in Santa Claus, so there's no interest and no payments till April on purchases of furniture, carpeting, bedding, TVs, and appliances. Right now, this RCA remote control video cassette recorder is on sale. Just $359 for an RCA VCR with 14-day 4-event programmer, high-speed search, stop action, and infrared remote control. Just $359, and it's an RCA. No interest and no payments till April 1986. At Cohen's, we believe in Santa Claus.
Season's greetings from your friends at TV 25.
We are at a pretty loud Civic Center tonight. After the game, be sure to stay tuned for a special holiday edition of WKRP in Cincinnati, followed by the television acting debut of Bill Collins on Miami Vice. It all starts immediately after the game here on TV 25. Frank, we've heard a lot about Nate Brooks as a defensive player. It shows. Hersey Hawkins hasn't scored a point.
He had 24 at Loyola, Les 26. Neither is scored. Les has 2 and Hawkins hasn't scored. Jerry Thomas is in the game for Powell for the Braves. Number 21, you'll see him in a moment. Now on the low block left. Les playing out top, and Loyola switched their defense a little bit this time. They're playing back zone. Les shoots out. Clark, the rebound. Loyola with a 4-point lead in the ball. Golston faked Bradley and got it over to Jackson. Bernard Jackson's got a nice soft touch. 14-8, Jackson with 6.
He's a playmaker in Wichita State. Really hasn't played much ball in the last 2 years, so he's just beginning to get that shooting touch back. We saw him against Notre Dame, and he certainly took enough shots to get it back.
13-20 in the first half. Frank Missoni and Mike Dimmick with Bradley Loyola. In it goes to Mike Williams with a nice move. Good entry pass by Hawkins, and Williams pinned his man and finger rolled it.
Like out of a ballet movie or something. 6 for Williams, a nice pirouette.
Williams is gaining consistency, the consistency that he needs for Bradley to be a big winner. 2-3 zone Bradley. They haven't yet flashed that 3-2 zone they used up there early. Golston again, he's got 3 in a row.
They might have to find some kind of defense to do something with him. That's 3 baskets, I believe, now for Golston.
They were asking what happened to Carl Golston with his 34% shooting. A lot of it is that Hughes graduated, and so did Battle. Shot missed by Williams, and Thomas had one go through his hands. It could have been an easy layup. Jackson is fouled. Bernard Jackson went right to the rim with the ball. And I don't think Dick Versace likes how this is going.
No, I don't know. The Braves were back on transition, but nobody bothered to pick up Jackson. Once you get a guy like him go into the lane, and watch. Trippy just let him go. Thomas, by then it was too late, and Jackson had drawn the foul. It's not the team foul, but they won't shoot it.
Not at least for 5 seconds.
I'm talking free throws.
Here comes Bernard Jackson. Look at Trempy. Trempy got a rebound and some real beat there. 12-12 to play. Bradley 6 down in the first half, and it scored only 10 points. Here's a whistle. Foul on the Ramblers away from the ball.
They got Brooks for that one. What we're seeing, Frank, on the Loyola defensive end is a lot of switching. Basically a man-to-man defense. That time Brooks got caught in the switch, suddenly saw himself with Mike Williams, and decided holding might be the best thing to do in that instant.
First foul of the game on Loyola. Jimmy Les is open. Andre Moore has Golston cherry picking on the other end. And look at the pass to Brooks, who walked, no goal.
Exciting sequence, but it's just a turnover for the Braves. They come up and try to cut it to 4.
Clock just goes under 12 minutes in the first half. Golston guarding Les. Terry Thomas out in the left corner. Powell, or Williams, inside strip from the weak side, but Les has it back. Shakes the ball on the pass and moves around a Williams screen. Boom! 4 for Les. And he on the floor, that time a long way.
Now the Braves will sag back into the 2-3. This is to try to neutralize Moore.
Nice hands by Hawkins, tapped that one away. And Bobby Clark is playing offensive point position at 6'6". Powell back for the Braves. Trempe gets a rest.
Some of you may remember Greg Williams. He was the starter on this Loyola team, and Gene Sullivan says Bobby Clark does a lot of the same things for them. Play all three positions, and is a good, consistent defensive player.
Well, he didn't start the first game of the season, nor did Nate Brooks, but they look a lot better with this lineup. Ball tapped away by Les. The Ramblers have it, and Bradley is still down 16-12. Loyola in the purple with Golston 11. Bradley's defense once again good. Andre Moore, baseline. Golston, key. Carl Golston has found the range. He's got 8.
Shot clock was on 2 when that one flew.
45-second clock, of course, in all the games.
You ever think you'd see a Loyola team send a shot clock down to 2? That is the record.
Les on the fly. Banked it off. Moore, another one. Half a dozen rebounds for the big man. Here's a wild pass by the Ramblers. Owens believes in Santa Claus, so there's no interest or payments until April on purchase of furniture, carpeting, bedding, TVs, appliances, and accessories. Minimum purchase, $299. Owens believes in Santa Claus. 10:20 to play. In the first half, Bradley's down by 6 at home with a 6-0 record. Hasn't given the crowd a chance to really get in the flow of the game yet. Mike Williams does.
Williams now with 8. Boy, is he playing well on the offensive end. No hesitation. Really looks like he knows what he's doing with the ball now.
Elbow seems all right. Brooks comes in close. And Williams has this. And Les goes with the break. And Bradley gets 2 in a row. Les is open for a hot moment. Hawkins hasn't been in the offense much. Powell. Loyola's ball off the Braves. Now a whistle. 9:42 to play in the first half. Loyola still in the lead, and we'll be back at Carver Arena after this.
I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. I'd like to buy the world a Coke and keep it company. That's the song I sing. I'd like to teach the world what the world wants to perfect harmony. I'd like to buy the world a Coke and keep it company.
It's Grimm's Christmas Countdown. Don't miss your chance to save on Grimm's large selection of name brand TVs and appliances. Buy this GE Space Maker 2 microwave for $198 or this GE dishwasher for $268. Hurry to Grimm's Christmas Countdown. With prices this low, you can't afford to wait. Why not get it all? Price, service, selection, and satisfaction. The choice is yours. Grimm TV and Appliance, Morton, Peoria, and Bloomington.
See you later, Marty.
Who's gonna be at the Silver Bullet
I know
tonight?
exactly how it happens. A guy will walk in, handsome, mysterious. He orders a beer. A lady brings it over. They fall madly in love. He sweeps her away, shows her the world, and totally changes her life forever. It happens to people all the time.
Coors Light, please.
I couldn't handle it.
There's no slowing down with the Silver Bullet tonight.
Coors Light beer.
Bill Houlihan's weather on News 25.
Bradley 4 down in the first half. Something for you to think about at home once again. The player of the game, Plaza Video Morton's Bradley player of the game, will be named a little bit later. Plaza Video will make a donation in the name of that player to Bradley University's General Scholarship Fund. Might be
the player who gets some rebounds. Bradley's behind 15-6 rebounding, and Hawkins just made a steal. We were just talking at the break. That's what Bradley needs, a turnover and a score to get the crowd involved. Williams on the bounce, stripped nicely. Ooh, good defensive play by Bernard Jackson. And he makes a bad pass. As soon as Golston touches it, it's Bradley's ball. So Golston won't. He let it roll to the end line. That gives Bradley the ball. They'll run some motion.
Shut up!
I guess that's indicative of Loyola's season. Make a good play and come down and let it get away. 8 turnovers now for the Ramblers. That's hard to win games when you have 8 in the first 11 minutes.
Bradley has 4 turnovers, but are not shooting well. 7 of 19, which is only 37% here in the early going. Powell tries to change that. Into Thomas, a short shot. That shoots 2. Give the basket to Thomas. It was rejected by the Ramblers goaltender.
Frank, I think it's evident the Braves think they can get the ball down inside, either to Thomas in this case, who has about 4 inches on Bernard Jackson.
Oh, good call. Nate Brooks got that one.
Here's one more look at the call as we're back to live action.
On the live action, a foul on the Ramblers as Brooks pushed Thomas going for the glass. If you'll remember, Tim Bankston, a freshman that came to Bradley from Chicago, has transferred to Loyola, and he's not even one of those 22 guys that we referred to. He's sitting out this season. That would be 23. Coors Beer. Coors is the one. Coors Light, there's no slowing down with the Silver Bullet. Cohen's, Downstate's largest home furniture, and North Point Video in Peoria and Plaza Video in Morton, your sponsors. Bless!
A little bit of the old give and go with Hawkins as the intermediary. It's no problem.
And Bradley has tied the game. Here's the big trip down. Can Loyola answer and rebound? Jackson slides and shoots. Yes, sir, is the answer. Loyola came tonight to respond to the Braves' first victory. 8 for Jackson. Mike Williams comes out high. He's been very effective in this game. Percy Hawkins tries to get free. And Jim Less gets in the lane, swatted away by Jackson. Loyola's defense is noticeably better in this game than in the first game.
There's the mismatch. Williams against Brooks.
Thomas wasn't ready, now catches it and missed. That's not a good shot for Jerry. He wasn't quite ready.
Now, Jerry's only shooting 27% from the field. He's got to have both his feet down to be taking those shots.
20-18 Loyola. Clark wheels it up and out. Jerry Thomas on the boards and a foul on Jerry. Second foul on Thomas and the 4th on the Braves in the first half.
Take a look. This will come on the weak side after the Clark jumper. Thomas is out of your picture. You really can't see, but he doesn't have position. Jackson was there, and they'll get you almost every time going over the back.
In case you're wondering, Trevor Trempe is on the Bradley bench. He hasn't played much, and it's not because of injury to our knowledge. Shot by Clark is down, and the Ramblers get the 4-point lead back. Jerry Thomas has been his spot in the lineup. He's free. 2.
Thomas is 4 points now. I'm sure Dick wants to keep him in there because of his height advantage, and also that he's probably a better baseline player than Trevor Trempe. Trempe has not shot a free throw all season long.
Clark's open again, but this rebound comes to Jimmy Less. Bradley can tie the game. 6:33 to play in the first half. Hawkins fires. Jerry Thomas. JT is stripped by Jackson, and Les got it almost back. Probably 2 fouls there. One on Jackson and one on Les. Golston goes into the trees and is chopped down. Foul is on Mike Williams. You see that pad on his elbow. That's the ulnar nerve injury he's had. Watch it.
Well, these guys are way up in the air. That's a good idea to get rid of the ball when you have 3 guys going that high. Haven't seen a lot of foul shooting in this game as of yet. Golston's a pretty good guy to have there.
When you're 5'9", shooting in there is like shooting a basketball in the forest. You're pretty sure to hit a branch. And Mike Williams' big arm was out there. It was like a trunk, and he swatted it away, but he fouled Golston. Golston made a pair. He's got 10 already, averaging 15, and Loyola leads by 4. They are going to be a handful for Bradley tonight. You can just tell it.
We'll see if Bradley again tries to stick it inside. Williams is guarded by Brooks. Here he is.
And Williams puts it up. Clark rebounds on the weak side, and he's played well. Looks like Loyola has a lot of confidence right now. Andre Moore, blocked by Hawkins at 6'3". rejected the 6'9" Andre Moore. That was a hello experience. Golston, jet quick, fires. He's got it again.
I almost feel silly going into this game saying what a poor shooter he's been.
He's been on fire in this one. 5:40 to go. Loyola leads 26-20. Frank Bastoni, Mike Dimmick on TV 25. Percy Hawkins passed up a shot. Les is inside, but Williams' pass is too high for it.
Man, timeout.
5:27 to go. In the first half, Hawkins gets a break. Bertolini comes in. He'll play the off-guard position. Les and Bertolini. Powell, Williams, and Thomas for Bradley. And just as Bradley surprised Loyola in the first game with Trevor Trempe at the point, Bradley has not responded well yet tonight to the Ramblers' changes. Oh, Andre Moore, that's called a rebound in-your-face dunk.
I think he was grunting in our ear on that one.
28-20, Andre Moore, something special. No wonder he had 19 points against Patrick Ewing. Bradley's 8 down and needs a hoop.
Williams is trying to get free against Brooks, and Brooks is doing everything but tackling him.
Powell starts and walks. And Bradley is a little sluggish on the offense right now. Now we have a whistle and a time on the court. And Bradley welcomes that as they're down 8 points here in the first half. We'll be right back.
At Cohen's, we believe in Santa Claus, so there's no interest and no payments till April on purchases of furniture, carpeting, bedding, TVs, and appliances. Right now, the complete line of Tappan ranges are on sale at Cohen's. Gas ranges, electric ranges, plus over-under ranges with microwaves, all by Tappan, and all on sale. Prices start at just $319. Just $319 for a Tappan range. No interest and no payments till April 1986. At Cohen's, we believe in Santa Claus.
Television as you've never seen it before. Over 100 channels of satellite TV entertainment is awaiting you at Energy Systems. All over the Tri-County area, you see where Energy Systems has become the dealer with price, selection, and service of Radex satellite dishes. This mesh satellite dish is made by Radex to blend with the environment. And Energy Systems offers a range of Uniden receivers, from the economical Uniden 1000 to the full stereo sound of the Uniden 7000. Energy Systems on Farmington Road, Peoria.
This is the time of year when we gather from far and near, and we welcome the season in, and let all the love begin. And the jokes you tell, and the songs you sing, and the sight of your smile still means everything. And I finally get to say, I think of you every day.
I'm on.
Happy holidays, Coors to you.
From the people at Coors.
Putting on the Kids, Saturday morning at 11 on TV 25.
Bradley's down by 8, and there are some zeros for reasons. Percy Hawkins, 0 points. Bradley, 0 tries at the foul line.
Well, two things we saw a lot of at Marquette. Bradley missing free throws and Percy Hawkins making baskets. Got to credit Bobby Clark, who we've talked about on the offensive end doing a wonderful job. Defensively, he's done just as good a job. Most of it's been because he's able to come out, has the quickness to guard Hawkins at 20 feet and overplay the ball. Percy's probably, when he gets back into the game, he's out right now, may have to try to backdoor him a few times on that alley-oop.
Rebounding, Loyola 18-9 over Bradley with Andre Moore with 7. Loyola's outscored Bradley 10-2 in the last 3:40. 12-2 make that. As Andre Moore sticks in another one, it's 30-20. And Bradley was down by 11 to Loyola in the second half up there, but playing much better than they've played so far tonight. Need a little more intensity offensively. A couple of quick hoops. Mike Williams inside. He just missed it. Jerry Thomas works for the rebound. Howell's got it for 2.
This is quickly becoming Donald Powell's specialty. You watched our game against Northwestern. He had 2 3-point plays in a row to really turn the game around, and here he is again when Bradley needs it most.
Third foul on Nate Brooks, and that's a factor, getting Ivan Young, 6'6" senior, off the bench. take Strong out and put Strong in. There's Young coming on.
We should also mention that number 33 for Loyola is Brian Boyle, who is playing his first game of the season. He's a redshirt, a transfer from Iowa.
6'8", 210, and a good player.
Boyle, for you Big Ten fans, is the brother of Kevin Boyle, who was such a remarkable player at Iowa.
Powell with 5. Bradley cuts the lead on that three-point play with 4 minutes now in the front half. Jackson against Bertolini. Jackson's in. Jackson took Bertolini to the baseline about 6 feet away and stuck him in for 10 points. Now Les shakes free and fires. That was partially blocked, and so was Les by Boyle. That'll be a shooting violation, I'm sure, as Hawkins gets back off the Brave bench.
Dick Versace took one look at Letty Bertolini trying to take on Jackson defensively and got Hawk back into the game. When Bradley gets it back on the other end, let's watch what Hawkins does and see if he tries to find a way to get free. We saw what a difference he can make against Marquette, and tonight they need that difference again.
Hawkins on the right wing. This is the original starting lineup back in now. Trempe at the point. Hawkins got by his man on the right for a deuce.
There he was. Got away from his man, got his own shot, got his first 2 points.
He averages 18 and a half, and his first 2 pull Bradley within 7. Andre Moore is fouled by Williams. And that's the second foul on Williams, and that's a factor here, of course, in the first half. Watch it.
Frank, I think there was some confusion here. Percy Hawkins and Mike Williams were looking at each other. At the same time, the ball was in the air to Moore. He got it and got himself positioned to get the foul.
Williams, who's been very effective in the first half so far, and Moore misses his first free throw attempt. And Loyola's first miss.
You can't see it in the shots we've been showing you, but all the Bradley students are waving. There you have a look.
And Moore stuck it in, 33-25, 9 for Moore. What a talent. Jim Les tries to rev up the Braves.
Braves will run motion, try to get a shot for the Hawks.
Hawk missed this time. Williams rebounded. He got his 3rd foul, and we just said it was important. And in a few seconds, he got numbers 2 and 3.
And 3:07 to go in the first half. Dick Versace is going to have to make some changes. He's going to get Greg Jones up. Jones only 6'4", but is a natural center. That's what he played in high school at Robeson. And we'll see what kind of maneuvering they do inside.
Williams will have to sit the final 3:07 of the first half, and Bradley's already 8 behind. This is not a great position for the Braves to be in. But they were down 11 at Loyola and rallied, storming back. Young threw up a brick. Bradley rebounds to go. Powell is gaining confidence with every game. Trempe hasn't tried one of those long ones yet.
Trevor was 10 out of 14 from the field coming into this one. He missed his first and really hasn't given it much of a try.
Les tries to shake off Bernard Jackson. Donald Powell.
7 first half points for Donald Powell. I'd say right now, he and Mike Williams have single-handedly, or in this case, double-handedly kept Bradley in it.
Golston is slapped away by Jones. Greg needs help. And Jim Les comes back. 2:27 in the first half. Bradley tries to cut it to 4. Another whistle. Foul on the Ramblers. Trying to guard Hawkins is Bernard Jackson. They're the same height, but they don't have the same jumping ability.
After the game, be sure to stay tuned for a special holiday edition of WKRP in Cincinnati. After that, you'll see Phil Collins, the singer, becoming the actor for the first time. Miami Vice starts right after the game.
Jimmy Les looks to move the Bradley offense. 33-27, and he does.
What he did is move the offense and cleared room to get a good shot. 8 for Jimmy Les.
Right on target, a 16-point average. Jackson, Bradley within 4. Scrapping right now. Bradley's intensity's up. The crowd's in.
The crowd is getting into it again.
Greg Jones really hand-fighting Ivan Young on the low block. There it is, the bat. Bradley really aggressive defensively. Shot clock, no factor, as Bernard Jackson dings it. A dozen. Jackson is really lighting it up.
You see what a difference, just like it makes for Bradley when the Loyola guards are hitting.
35-29, a minute and a half in the first half. Prempy looking in for Powell. Oh, a great pass to Hawkins.
Not bad having a point guard playing forward for you every once in a while.
Prempy's a big man with small man skills. He can pass, he can defend, he can play defense, and then he's on the point.
And at 6'7", when he gets in trouble, he can see over the defensive player.
A steal by Hawkins. Bradley within 4. The Hawk missed, and a foul. It would have counted. What a glide pattern he went into. Watch him come down the runway, Mike.
And get your stopwatch out to see how long he hangs around for that one. Just didn't get the English going the right way. And we'll show you one more time. The Hawk in motion. And now we go back to the foul line. Such a bugaboo in the Marquette game, but Dick Versace didn't do anything special this week. Just said, I want to forget about it and hopefully do better.
Hawkins' ballerina move got him 2 shots. And he missed the first. And nailed the second. Bradley's within 3 as Hawkins has 5. They press. A minute to go, first half. Big night of basketball. Golston, left baseline. Clock is at 30 seconds. The shot clock. Bad pass by Golston. Who's got it? Hawkins saved it. Somehow.
And instead, Bradley gets nothing out of it. But a splendid effort by Hawkins to keep that in bounds.
A brilliant effort by Hawkins as the Ramblers come back on the floor from a visit with Gene Sullivan. And what a move to the basket by Powell. He got the first one. Golston. 39 seconds, and Bradley could cut it to 1. Hawkins. Les wheels to Powell. He steps in and lost it off his foot. He was open. There's Keith Berry, number 50, a 6'9" junior from Dunbar in. Donald Powell out for the Braves. And what a lineup this. Along the back line, Jones, Berry, and Hawkins.
Now, Frank, 21 seconds to go. Loyola will hold for 1, probably.
That's hard for them to do in their style. Gene Sullivan says we want the game to be fun. It is when you win. Les is shadowing Golston man-to-man. Bradley playing zone the rest of the way. And a great job on defense. 5 seconds on the game clock. Golston got it in at the gun. Holy cow, what a play by Golston. And Les wanted a foul right at the gun there. But Carl Golston, with a hot shooting half, has led the Ramblers to a 37-32 lead. We've got a lot of halftime activities, and we'll be back in Carver Arena with that in a moment.
Make holiday gift-giving easy with a Video Express membership, now only $19.95. 12 free movies, newsletters, low rates, and much more. Video Express, 4918 North Chardon Road.
It's Grimm's Christmas Countdown. Don't miss your chance to save on Grimm's large selection of name brand TVs and appliances. Buy this RCA 13-inch color TV for $178 or this RCA video recorder at $268. Hurry to Grimm's Christmas Countdown. With prices this low, you can't afford to wait. Why not get it all? Price, service, selection, and satisfaction. The choice is yours. Grimm TV and Appliance, Morton, Peoria, and Bloomington.
FTV, Saturday nights at midnight on TV 25.
This 25 sports exclusive is brought to you in part by Coors, the beer with a difference worth tasting. Coors is the one. By Coors Light, the Silver Bullet. There's no slowing down with the Silver Bullet. By Cohen's, downstate Illinois' largest home furnisher. And by North Point Video in Peoria and Plaza Video in Morton.
When it comes to saving space, Benson's and GE have this terrific hang-up microwave. You get a 5-year warranty and you save space. Get Benson's GE hang-up microwave for as low as $179 at Benson's.
It's Weiser's Holiday Spectacular. Glittering diamonds, fiery rubies, exotic emeralds, sapphires, topaz, amethyst. The finest jewelry from around the world now at savings of 70, 80, even 90%. Brand new arrivals. The Midwest's largest jewelry collection on sale at savings of 70, 80, even up to 90%. The best prices anywhere and the best selection at Weiser Jewelers. Glamorous, exciting, a vibrant, spectacular collection at savings of 70% and more. Weiser Jewelers for gifts that will last a lifetime.
This Christmas, get your kids a little magic at Hardee's. Just buy any sandwich, fries, and Coke, and you can get the magic of a classic Disney character for just $2.19. Lady, Bambi, Dumbo, Pinocchio, and one of the 101 Dalmatians. A different Disney character each week at Hardee's.
Hardee's, where good people go, good food.
Christine Zach on News 25.
Carver Arena is the scene at halftime. Bradley and Loyola. Loyola leading 37-32. And onto the court, Bradley is honoring a departing friend of 23 years, Jim Erickson, and he can prove that nice guys can finish first. He's a special man.
He certainly can, and we wish him the best at his newest job in California, also as a college administrator, and I'm sure he will be very good at what he does, and as always, he will be a gentleman.
Jim and Jan Erickson will be missed in Central Illinois, and we, of course, wish them very, very well. At Loyola in the first game of the season, Bradley trailed at halftime 40-37. They fell 11 behind before rallying to win by 10. Tonight, they trail at halftime 37-32, and it's because Carl Golston has 14, Bernard Jackson 12, and Andre Moore 9, the guards with 26.
And that does it. When you add up those three players, you get one other basket, and nobody else has scored. So the guys who have to score for Loyola have been doing it. For Bradley, Mike Williams has been scoring. As you get a look at the presentation going on to Jim Erickson, who is on your right. But getting back to what we were talking about, I think we're going to need to see more scoring out of Hersey Hawkins, for one thing, who really didn't even look to shoot a whole lot until the last 4 or 5 minutes of the first half.
Jim Less and Mike Williams led the Braves with 8 points apiece. Hersey Hawkins had but 5, and Donald Powell had 7 as Bradley got 4 points from Jerry Thomas. Nothing from Trempy in the scoring department, and Mike Williams, the big story for Bradley is that he has 3 fouls and got his third with 3:07 to play in the first half. Now let's hear a word from our friends at Bradley University.
Bradley is fortunate to have many friends who believe in the university. But of all its friends, the parents of Bradley's students represent one of its strongest constituencies. Every parent is a member of Bradley's Parents Association, an organization which was started in 1946. Since that time, Bradley's Parents Association has supported projects to beautify the walkway to Bradley Hall, enhance the lounge in the Student Center, and the exteriors of the Student Center, bookstore, and Hostler Hall. Most recently, the Parents Association adopted a project to enhance the Cullum Davis Library. Since 1983, over $20,000 has been used to purchase books and terminals for the online circulation system. Participation in Parents Weekend each spring and fall is another expression of their involvement in campus activities. Parents Weekend provides them with an opportunity to experience campus life, enjoy the many cultural programs available on campus, and enter into dialogue with Bradley faculty and administration. For all that Bradley parents have done for the university, it's gratifying to hear them voice their satisfaction with the university and with the quality of education their children have received at commencement. After 4 long years of sacrifice and hard work for both student and parent, here's what some Bradley parents had to say about their children's Bradley experience.
The investment here is an investment that has been well made in terms of not only an educational opportunity and learning experience, but also an opportunity to meet a great deal of other students and to associate with them. I think my daughter has developed some friendships that are going to last a lifetime.
She actually thinks it's been a fantastic experience, and I think that's because it's been so well-rounded. The promise became a reality. From a day of orientation, which doesn't seem like 4 years ago, what was promised to us had integrity to it. And I think she's had a marvelous experience in and out of class.
Hawkins with a 13-point first half. And as the Hawk leads the Braves into the locker room in Milwaukee, the halftime score is the Braves of Bradley, 34. The Warriors of Marquette, 27.
With savings up to 70%, enjoy the luxury of beautiful gold chains this Christmas from ML Laundry and F.J. Vollmer, Bloomington.
From all of us on Miami Vice, season greetings!
The crowd has been entertained at halftime here, although they don't like the score. It's Loyola 37 and Bradley 32. Frank Mazzoni and Mike Mimican joining me at half court here for a trip into Peoria as the new commissioner of the Missouri Valley Conference. Jim Haney. Jim, welcome to Peoria and to the arena.
Great to be here. I've heard a lot of good things about Peoria and this facility, and you certainly haven't been let down in any way.
Talk for a moment, if you will, about what your ideas and goals are as far as the coverage of the Missouri Valley Conference, especially television coverage.
Well, I really believe that the Missouri Valley Conference has a great history, and there really has been a lack of education on the general public's part over the last few years. And so what we've tried to do, as an example of this game being televised throughout the country, is to just educate people and use the games not only for exposure for Bradley tonight, but also use it as a vehicle to brag about the great history of this conference and the quality of coaches, players, and teams that we have presently playing for us.
What do you face as commissioner as your bigger problems? Things that you'd like to accomplish, things that you're facing now?
Well, I think one certainly is just continually educating the public, not only within our own geographic area, but around the country. And we've started a newspaper publication called Valley Basketball. These ESPN telecasts are helpful. We're hopeful of getting some national network coverage as well down the road. So we'll just continually try to expand upon what we've already started to do.
We've got some charitable bell ringers and some choral singers ready to chime, all coming up after Miami Advice, after WKRP, after the game.
Get better looking and better reading every week. Get TV Guide on sale now.
The facts, the fun, the one TV Guide.
It's Weiser's Holiday Spectacular. Glittering diamonds, fiery rubies, exotic emeralds, sapphires, topaz, amethyst. The finest jewelry from around the world now at savings of 70, 80, even 90%. Brand new arrivals. The Midwest's largest jewelry collection on sale at savings of 70, 80, even up to 90%. The best prices anywhere and the best selection at Weiser Jewelers. Glamorous, exciting, a vibrant, spectacular collection at savings of 70% and more. Weiser Jewelers for gifts that will last a lifetime.
At Cohen's, we believe in Santa Claus, so there's no interest and no payments till April on purchases of furniture, carpeting, bedding, TVs, and appliances. And right now, every Cohen Strata Lounger is on sale. Strata Lounger XPs, Strata Lounger Close-Ups, Stratoglide Recliners, over 50 styles and many beautiful fabrics, priced from $189, plus no interest and no payments till April 1986. At Cohen's, we believe in Santa Claus.
Rest assured, wake up to News 25 Winter Watch.
It's still halftime at the Peoria Civic Center. Bradley down by 5, in spite of some good individual performances by Mike Williams and Jim Les. And in the second half, we'll be making a decision about the Plaza Video of Morton's Bradley Player of the Game. That will be named a little bit later. Plaza Video will make a donation in the name of that player to Bradley University's General Scholarship Fund. So the task now, Frank, is to try to get that win.
I think Bradley's concerned with a number of things. One, the rebound disadvantage, where they are out-rebounded 21-14. They're certainly concerned about the scoring of the backcourt of the Ramblers.
That has been the difference so far. A couple of guys who have not been shooting that well are shooting great in this game. Carl Golston, 14 points, 6 of 10 from the field. Bernard Jackson also 6 field goals for 12 points. Andre Moore had 9 inside, although he only took 5 shots. 2 for Bobby Clark, and that'll do it. Now you look at the team stats. Bradley only shooting 44%. They were 51% coming into this game. Loyola, on the other hand, is shooting 53%. They were averaging 43% from the field coming into this one. Shooting has made a difference.
Speaking of shooting, Jim Les was 2 out of 10 at Marquette for the game, and he is 4 out of 10 in the first half here. And Jim, therefore, has made 6 of his last 20 shots from the field, and I know that that's on his mind a little bit.
Well, it sure is, and that thigh might be on his mind also. He was a little tentative at the beginning, got into the flow and hit a couple of jumpers. We'll have to see in the second half if the defense tries to get things going. Bradley's trap worked effectively at times. They got some steals. As a matter of fact, as we go down the board, Loyola had 10 turnovers in this one. That included some steals for Bradley, 3 of them by Hersey Hawkins, who had 5 in Milwaukee the other night.
Hersey Hawkins was 2 out of 6 from the field and 5 points with those 3 steals. Sponsors for tonight's game in part, Coors Beer, Coors the One, Coors Light, there's no slowing down with the Silver Bullet. Cohen's, downstate Illinois' largest home furnisher, and North Point Video in Peoria, Plaza Video in Morton. Hope you're enjoying it. 37-32, Loyola in the lead with the ball. Second half is Bradley's perfect record in jeopardy. Foul on Trempy to start the second half. Mike Williams is in with 3 fouls. That is Trempy's second.
In case you're wondering, Trevor certainly deserves to have his name on his back, but Bradley's new home uniforms, as of yet, have not arrived. Consequently, you see him wearing different numbers and having a different look. Hopefully they'll get in sometime.
Golston looks at the Bradley zone. It's a 2-3. The man plays and urges on the Braves. Golston adjusts in the air to Jackson. 4 tips, once, still Loyola's ball, and their rebound advantage continues. The atmosphere in here is going to spurt the Braves sometime in this half. Bradley's going to come charging on. Golston tries to get free. In goes to Maurer. He turns and misses. Loyola misses the first 2. The Braves. Here's a whirling textbook point guard, Jim Les, up top. Hawkins down the paint to Williams for the stop.
10 for Mike Williams. That might do the trick to get the game or the crowd in the game and keep them there.
Les goes for the ball against Clark. Golston answers. Go with 16. 39 49-34. Each team scored a hoop in half two. Hawkins out top. Looking inside for Williams. But Hawkins is open. Hersey. Foul on Trempy, his third. Trempy too aggressive on the back. Mr. says a word of encouragement for the aggressiveness.
Picked up 2 fast ones. Dick has not had the quick hook this season. He's been very willing to go with somebody with 3, even 4 fouls. In the Northwestern game, Hersey Hawkins had 4 with about 10 minutes to go, and he still left him in. And Trempy will stay in as well.
Brooks with 3 fouls in the first half. 45 is inside for the Ramblers. And got it. Nice little move by Nate Brooks, his first deuce. Loyola by 7. We played 2 minutes of the second half. Frank Castoni and Mike Hemming at courtside. The men in white need a rally. Williams is baseline. Jimmy Less wheels. He's 4 of 11.
Second half, only 2 minutes old. The difference has been the guards have been hitting for Loyola, not for Bradley.
Brooks threw up an air ball, and Hersey Hawkins is on the fly. Foul Jackson.
Second personal now on Bernard Jackson, and not a bad foul, because once again, the Hawk has got the motors revving.
He goes to the launching pad with the best of them. Watch this.
Yeah, most guys get a lot more of Hersey Hawkins on this kind of a play, unless he just jumps over him. That will send him to the line, however. He was 1 for 2 in the first half.
Coming off a stunning performance at Marquette with 23 points, and most of them in the clutch of the game. Hawkins has 6 in this one. 61% from the field, 68 from the stripe. Bradley is back by 5, pressing. Les got there. The Ramblers finally break it. Jackson penetrates. Nice rebound by Brooks. Powell rejected it. Williams can't be too aggressive with 3 fouls, and they know it. Bradley's defense is good. Clark, 6'6" junior.
Frank Bradley's got in the 2-3. This time Trempy's out there. Those long arms against Clark.
Jackson fires and hits. Bernard Jackson, who transferred from Wichita State, has 14. Jimmy answers. Les pulled the trigger and got double figures in the 10th. Bradley looks to drop to a 1-3-1 zone. We're down to 16:30 in the game. Lots of time. Loyola by 5.
This is a bit of a new look. Loyola's patient, and they get the shot they want.
Jackson was wonderfully wide open. If you're a Rambler fan, nobody within 7 feet of him, and he stuck it for 16. Dick just yelled, "Move up."
45-38, there's your difference, no doubt about it. Jackson and Golston keep hitting when they need it.
Mike Williams not looking to score right there. Trempy and Clark banging each other. Les and Powell, there's really some bodies hitting out there. Gets Dick for say-something. Shot clock down under 20. Left to Donald Powell, steps in, puts it up. Jackson rebounds, and the Ramblers look strong. They're only 1-5, but they've played a mean schedule. And they've got a lead. They're trying to build a 9. Bradley chases in the zone. Golston fakes and shoots. Threw up a wild shot. Bradley looks to roll. Les blows by a man on the right and scoots out. Powell gave it to William Hawkins. Les has got it back. Steps in. Missed. It was down and in and then out. Hawkins the steal. Powell missed and fouled from point blank. And those are bad signs if you pull for Bradley.
That one will go the other way against the Braves. 3 now on Donald. 45-38 Bradley, 14 1:58 to go as you take another look. We'll be back to give you some more looks after this.
Who's gonna be at the Silver Bullet tonight?
So now it's third down. Coach wants me to call a quarterback draw.
2 Coors Lights, Bob.
So before I can do anything, I get blindsided by this lineman named Everett. We called him the Mount.
Mount Everett?
This guy was so bad, he knocked me straight into bartending.
Yeah, well, he could never be the bartender that you are, Rob.
That's true. But he could be the bar.
There's no slowing down with the Silver Bullet tonight.
Coors Light beer.
The Converse StarTech designed for the best pro player. Thank you, Larry. StarTech's Unisaddle protects my ankles and gives that extra midfoot support a great rebounder needs. It's reinforced for me. And me. Hey, maybe it was made for both of us. Must be magic.
Now that's who this shoe was made for.
The Converse StarTech, specially priced at $39.88 at all Brown sporting goods stores.
At Cohen's, we believe in Santa Claus, so there's no interest and no payments till April on purchases of furniture, carpeting, bedding, TVs, and appliances. Right now, this Amana microwave oven with see-through door, removable tray, and sleek contemporary styling is on sale. Just $159 for a space-saving Amana microwave with full-size features and Amana's limited warranty. Just $159. No interest and no payments till April 1986. At Cohen's, we believe in Santa Claus.
At the movies, Saturday nights at 6:30 on TV 25.
Just a reminder that the Bradley bus is a pleasant alternative to braving the traffic at Bradley home games, and there's a lot of it tonight. The bus leaves Malnati's Pizzeria for Carver Arena every home game day. There's Bradley memorabilia, free beverages, all the things to make the ride more enjoyable. It's all brought to you by TV 25, Malnati's, Coors Beer, and Sneak Beach Transit. Call 682-0463. Some video for the night.
Greg Jones has come on for Bradley, replacing Powell, who has 3 fouls. The crowd is up in arms. Bradley is 7 behind with 14:55 to go. Bradley has 3 players with 3 fouls. Powell and Williams and Trempy. Golston cuts across the paint to Jackson, blocked by Hawkins. Hawkins is really coming on defensively. Bradley shooting 2 of 7 this half. Loyola 4 of 9. Golston, wow.
Well, some nights guys are just going to come out and hit everything, and Golston and Jackson are trying to prove it. They're putting on a show from the outside.
9-point Loyola lead, and Les bangs it in, falling down.
He just wanted to prove he's got a few of those too. That's a dozen for Jimmy.
So it's 34 for the backcourt of Loyola starters, and it's 19 for Bradley's twosome. Les with a dozen, Hawk with 7. Bradley's within 7. Baseline slide is blocked by the Braves, and off a Rambler out of bounds. Jackson got rejected. It was returned to sender inside.
Gene Sullivan on the far sideline, not real happy about that. He'll work the official a little bit. Frank, considering everything, that 2 guys that come out and just scorch the nets, 7 points is not bad.
Hawkins, bang. Here comes Hersey.
9 now for the Hawks, coming off a big 23 at Marquette.
13:40 to play. Bradley, man-to-man, and fighting. Clark whistles one in from the left wing.
Couple now for Clark, and Bradley will probably just give him those open shots. They're trying to shade more and work on Golston and Jackson and double team them when they can.
37% shooter for the season, who hadn't tried a free throw, and he nailed a couple in this one. Mike Williams, Hawkins, both outside. Loyola's defense, pretty good. Greg Jones turns on Andre Moore. Threw it over him, missed everything. Rebound, Hawkins, steps in, hangs and scores.
11 now for Hawk, but one of the keys is the Braves keeping the ball alive, and rebounding has not been in their favor all night long.
Bradley's within 5. They need the ball this time. Jackson fires, and it doesn't go, but a foul on Hawkins. Hawkins has been a Bradley player that's been in foul trouble many games. That's his first.
Hawk that time let Jackson get away. He's doing a lot of shading of Jackson, trying to knock the ball away, front him. That time he needed some help from Jones and ended up fouling anyway. Dick Versace says Hersey's going to get a lot of fouls, maybe more than he should, because they ask so much of him. They ask him to rebound. They ask him to take chances on defense. And they ask him to do things because he has such great abilities.
Jackson, a brilliant shooter tonight, missed that. 57% free throwing, and that's not very good.
Now some of the Bradley fans getting into the waving behind the baskets.
They brought their banners and their flags, and they're cheering the Braves, who are down by 6. 12:45 left. Les and Golston, a couple of the guys under 6 feet who can really play. Greg Jones trying to get comfortable out there. Les beat Golston baseline, threw up a shot that comes down to Greg Jones for 2. Look what I found. Not a good shot by Jimmy.
No, but it worked out into the famous pinball effect, which coaches often draw up.
All right, there's Les, who's never spent a lazy moment in a gymnasium in his life. Here's the shot by Moore, missed. Loyola. It's 12:08. Bradley's crawled back to 4.
There you see some of the crowd. They got into it on that sequence.
They'll get into it a little more if Bradley can make a steal. Hawkins didn't get it. He bounced it off of a Rambler, but off of Percy and out of bounds. Hawkins is so quick. He's flash dance out there.
Last 2 games, he stole about 15 balls, or nearly has.
He's brilliant. Bradley needs to play smart because they're within 4 now.
Almost got another.
He goes after everything. 2-3 Brave zone. And Golston and Jackson have shredded it like thieves. Not this time. And Loyola keeps it. The rebounding Ramblers throw it away off of a Brave. Maybe you heard Dick Versace. He said, Mike, get on the boards. Golston just stuck another one in outside. He's got 20.
Boy, that was vintage Loyola. While Jimmy Les was calling a play, the defense with his hand, they had the ball inbounds and in the air.
Golston just shot a 20-footer for his 20th point. Hawkins and Les trying to rally the Braves. Greg Jones.
4 now for Greg Jones, and you got to look at the abilities he has as a post player. Surprising when you take a look at him. He's only 6'4".
Howell gets off the Bradley bench. Bradley plays man-to-man this trip.
Jones is guarding Moore, really giving him the time.
Les, and there's Moore, inside tip, Loyola, nicely done. Weak side tip by Nate Brooks. 54-48 with 11 minutes. Bradley needs to get Mike Williams back into their offense and into their rebounding. Set play, probably for Hawkins. It is. It missed. Trempy missed. Mike Williams rejected and fouled. And there was Bradley playing offensive board time.
Boy, they got a lot of chances, but how many times have we seen this tonight? Trempy, point blank, won't fall. Goes to Mike Williams. Even though he's fouled, good chance to go in, and it didn't. There's a look at the foul. Bradley getting just as aggressive on the board. Trempy, 6'7".
You may not believe this, but that was the first foul on Andre Moore.
And Mike Williams doesn't believe it.
And he missed. Mike Williams, who's averaging 50% of the foul line, played 63 minutes in one game against Bradley, 7 overtimes for Cincinnati as a freshman. Seems like 100 years ago. And he missed a pair, but Trempy got his hand on it only to Gav Loyola have it. Remember that trip down. Bradley missed 2 layups and 2 free throws. And they're down 6. Crowd is quiet now. They think Golston pushed off. Golston is stripped by Les. What a defensive play. Hawkins.
Here we go.
Beat.
You might want to remember that sequence as well. Golston and Les. What a battle they're having. Watch them go at it.
Now the Braves are hustling and playing the D with more intensity than the Ramblers.
So is the crowd now.
Just under under 10 minutes to play, and people are standing at Carver Arena. Bradley's within 4. Near steal. Golston fakes. Jackson wants to shoot. No. Williams, yes.
Great defense that time. The Braves were helping out, not letting Loyola even get a shot, and they ended up not getting a great one. Now they can cut it to 2 with 9:27.
The play they call this is 52. Again, it's for Hawkins. And why not? 9:18 to play. Mike Williams. A dozen for Mike. It's a 2-point game.
Might not be a bad time for Gene Sullivan to call timeout, and he does.
On your cue, Bradley within 2. We'll be back at a Hoppin' Arena in just a moment.
At Cohen's, we believe in Santa Claus, so there's no interest and no payments till April on purchases of furniture, carpeting, bedding, TVs, and appliances. And right now, every Cohen sofa is on sale. Save 20 to 40% and more. Over 60 styles in many luxurious fabrics, many with matching love seats, all at savings of 20 to 40% and more. Plus no interest and no payments till April 1986. At Cohen's, we believe in Santa Claus.
I couldn't believe the savings after we bought our electric heat pump, but they sure added up.
We put in an add-on heat pump, and what it saved us this summer was pretty fantastic. I look for the same savings this winter.
One of the best things we've done for our family's comfort is buy a heat pump. We wouldn't have it any other way.
The new generation of heat pumps for dependable year-round comfort. Get a heat pump now and start saving for years to come. Call your local heat pump dealer.
This is the time of year when we gather from far and near, and we welcome the season in, and let all the love begin. And the jokes you tell, and the songs you sing, and the sight of your smile still means everything. And I finally get to say, I think of you every day.
Hi, Mama.
Happy holidays, Coors to you.
From the people at Coors. Season's greetings from your friends at TV25.
We are back at Carver Arena. In case you're bored, remember we have Miami Vice tonight, 9 o'clock. After that, the news from the team Central Illinois depends on the latest news, tomorrow's forecast, our wrap-up of various sports. It's all coming up tonight at 10 o'clock, right after Miami Vice. If you're bored on this, you probably don't like Miami Vice either.
Bradley's defense has put a bruise on Loyola in the second half. Bradley was down by 5 at the half. And they have not led, Bradley, since the first basket of the game. And this crowd is really alive.
I haven't seen them here in a couple of years stand while they're playing defense.
Clark comes this. Now it's Bernard's block by Bradley. Hawkins blocked the shot, his third. Bradley could tie the game. The offense is motion. Greg Jones, who's playing a lot of minutes. Powell posts. Tremby at the point. Donald Powell is fouled on the move to the goal.
Donald almost a little tentative on this one. Watch him. He'll turn, sees Moore in his face, and decided to go ahead with it. It's probably a good idea, because at that time Moore had committed and got him on the wrist.
Powell. Never heard anything like this in high school in Oklahoma.
I don't think they've got, and I'm guessing there are 8,000 people here. I'm not sure there are 8,000 people in Nowata, Oklahoma.
About 8,500 and 8 points for Powell. He made 1 of 2. Bradley is within 1 point. But Loyola has the ball back. Look at this defense. It's pushing Loyola farther out on the court than it did in the first half.
Again, it's the 1-3-1. When you got Trimpe on the wing and Hawkins able to fly from the back.
Trimpe, Powell, and Jones across the middle. Mike Williams is out of the game right now with 3 fouls. Powell's playing in the middle.
Shot clock down to 13.
Now 10. Bradley's defense, very, very good. 5 on the shot clock now. They have to shoot and do. A wild shot by Jackson, but tipped out to Golston, and a foul on the Ramblers. Bradley's gotten a lift tonight from Greg Jones on the inside. And Bernard Jackson gets his 3rd foul.
3 on Jackson, but that's only 4 team fouls on the Ramblers. 4 team fouls on Bradley. Right now, that's not a problem with 7:36 to go, and the Braves looking for the lead for the first time in a long time.
Bradley shoots for the lead. Les puts the motor on, and he is fouled, and it's on Golston, and Les will shoot 2, and that's Golston's first. The 5th on the Ramblers.
Jimmy got up right in front of us, and he had that look when he got up like, the only one who fouled me. I would have got the basket. I felt that one. He's been good as gold, though, at the free throw line, except for the 2 he missed at Marquette. As you get another look, good pick up high by Powell. That gave Jimmy enough time to get the shot, and consequently the foul.
Fingers into that one. With 7 assists, Jim Les ties the game with his 13th point. The Rambler bench. Gene Sullivan, Doug Bruno. Bradley does not get the lead, but they do get the ball. 7:22 left. The game is tied at 54.
Been looking a lot for the Hawk.
Hersey banked it in. 15 for Hawkins. It's Bradley in the lead. You go to the money, and it's a steal for Les. Here comes behind the back. Jimmy Les, really feeling it, is fouled again by Golston, and Les pushed the pressure on.
Golston's picked up 2 quick ones. Everybody on the Bradley defense has been a quick one. And Gene Sullivan is going to have to think about a timeout again. He has told Mike Senar to come in and call it. Bradley leading. 6:55 to go. It's not over yet. Come back with us.
Who's gonna be at the Silver Bullet tonight?
Rob, when you get a chance. So, you gonna call her? I'm thinking about it. 2 Coors Light, Rob. What's there to think about? Call her. I said I might.
Arnold, there were 100 guys in here last night, and she talked to you.
Jack, I was sitting on her coat.
It's a very unique approach. Give me the quarter. Rob, you got a quarter?
There's no slowing down with the Silver Bullet tonight.
Coors Light beer.
Rudolph here, the one they wrote the song about. Big Red Nose. Christmas is a tough time for Santa and his reindeer. We love Christmas, but all those packages and that back-breaking sleigh, well, this Christmas we decided to give the best gifts ever. UA Cable Systems has a special offer. Donate $7.50 to the neighborhood toy shop and receive free installation on any one of UA's cable services. UA has something for everyone. Disney Channel for
Donate $7.50 or more to the neighborhood toy shop and receive free installation on any one of UA's cable services. Call UA Cable Systems at 686-2600. Offer ends December 20th.
One of these nights when not a creature is stirring, stay very, very quiet, and you might hear the pitter-patter of tiny feet. Plaza Video and Appliance in Morton and North Point Video and Appliances in Peoria are up to something, sending out all available helpers to make all Christmases more than merry. A little sharp for big savings. This compact carousel 2 for just $2.19. $2.19. Be a Plaza and North Point helper. Tiptoe on in. Plaza and North Point for Christmas. Yeah, we're up to something.
Entertainment this week, Sunday nights at 10:30 on TV 25.
It's basketball tonight, but don't forget, TV 25 is your sports station for football, too. Tomorrow at 2:30, you can see all the action as the Kansas City Chiefs take on the Denver Broncos. On Sunday, it's NFL 85 at 11, Cincinnati at Washington at noon, followed by Seattle at the Raiders. That's coming your way this weekend here on TV 25.
6:55 in the game. Bradley leads by 2, led by this man, Jimmy Les, who's been a wildfire with Percy Hawkins on defense. And now offense. Hawkins is fouled. Bradley really taking the ball to the basket now.
Frank, I think the biggest difference we've seen in the last 2 games is not only Hersey Hawkins scoring, but Bradley's coming down and calling plays for him, saying, we are going to the Hawk. You probably know it, but see if you can stop it.
Jackson couldn't that time. His 4th foul, and Bradley's run is now 11 points in a row. Bradley has scored the last 11. Hawkins 4 of 5 from there. And Bradley, led by 17 of Hawkins, has a 4-point lead.
And remember, Mike Williams helped keep him in it in the first half. He's done almost nothing here in the second half.
Speaking of nothing, Andre Moore hasn't got a point in this half. And there is Ivan Young's first deuce. And it's a 2-point game again. You just knew. Man-to-man by the Ramblers. That means somebody named Mike Senar's got to guard Hersey Hawkins. That is a problem for Mike. Or for most other people who don't wear a cape. Powell! Donald Powell shot a line drive. He was up so high. And Bradley leads by 4.
Watch him, though. He's got the position. He's got the foot placed down, able to jump over and hit. And this is quickly becoming this gentleman's specialty. The 3-point. Good post play. Remember the old NIT champions. Reminiscent of them. They knew how to play the post. And now the youngster like Donald Powell is learning.
10 for Powell. 11, and Bradley zips to a 5-point advantage at 6:13. The Ramblers, who've had a hot hand most of the first half and early the second, now haven't. Andre Moore, kind of a bad shot. The selection wasn't there. Bradley is on the rebound. The men in white now on the hunt, and they've got their confidence way up. Les with 15.
Shot was way up in the air.
Bradley's turned on an avalanche of points, and Jackson stems the tide with his jumper. 19 for Bernard Jackson.
But we can't ignore what a good job defensively Bradley's been doing on Golston and Jackson over the last 6 or 7 minutes during this run.
Left on the right wing. Trempy wants to punch it inside. And Loyola steals it. A man on the other end is Jackson for a layup. And all of a sudden, Loyola is within 3 on 2 quick hoops by Jackson. Les calls a set play. He says me. He's slapping himself on the chest, perhaps motion. 5 minutes. Hersey Hawkins. Powell, a good rebound on the offense. He was held. Nice play and position by Donald Powell.
Here's a look at Powell, who is really becoming a force. A long rebound there in good position and just went straight back up. I'm impressed, Frank, with Bradley in particular, Williams and Powell this year, how when they get rebounds, when they get the ball inside, they don't goof around with putting it on the floor or making fancy moves. They just go right back up.
Powell is really an emerging player. He's a legitimate 6'8", maybe closer to 6'9". He's got the long arms, and he knows what to do. He missed that. Bradley by 4. 4:52 to play in the game. Bradley looking for their 7th win in a row, which would catapult them higher in the national rankings. Bernard Jackson's open. Mike Williams ripped the rebound down. The Braves on offense. Les. Now Williams wheeled it up there as he was held by Ivan Young. He knew he was being fouled, so he just threw it up, hoping it might bite the iron.
They call this the 2-man game. You just get 2 guys basically playing catch with each other. And Gene Sullivan wondering how many men it's going to take to stem Bradley now. 64, 60, and Dick Versace. He knows they don't have it yet.
Free throw is missed by Williams. He has 0 for 3 at the foul line. That's a hat trick, I guess.
After a bad night at Marquette.
But he's got 6 rebounds in this half, 9 in the game, and he made that. 65 to 60. Bradley with 4:24. Frank Pisoni and Mike Dimmick. Hope you're enjoying this on TV 25.
Now Bradley coming out. What looks like a man-to-man. It's really more of a matchup zone. Williams just kind of hanging around the middle.
Nice rebound by Williams. Les looks at the court. He sees Hawkins. Yes!
Loyola's been slow on the transition twice in the second half, and Hersey Hawkins has burned them both times.
19 for the Hawk. Ivan Young barges in and is fouled. What a defensive intensity difference by Bradley in this second half. Foul is on Powell. That's 4. That means Greg Jones comes off the bench.
Greg Jones replaces Powell.
Boy, Powell comes out, but without his contributions, you wouldn't see a 7-point lead, and you probably not see a lead, period.
Speaking of contribution, Les came into the game with 50 assists, make it now 60, 10 in the game.
That gives them an average of just about 10 a game.
Free throw is home by Ivan Young. His 3rd point. Gets his team within a half a dozen. Missed again, Williams. The inside enforcer. Les is open. Bradley might run a little time. Hawkins finds Trempy. Half a minute on the 45-second clock. Trempy passed up a shot, but Hawkins didn't. No goal. It didn't count. Foul first on Sinar, 25.
Good call. They got the whistle on the dribble and whistled it right away. Gentlemen doing tonight's game have done a pretty good job. They established order right away.
Well, that's either a 2-shot violation, but it's bonus time now for Bradley anyway. This is a 1-and-1. Of course, the shot was first. The foul was first.
Dick Versace, you might have heard him calling 31. I believe that's our 1-3-1 zone we'll be seeing again. After this game, be sure to stay tuned for WKRP in Cincinnati. After that, Miami Vice. And it's all after the game here on TV 25.
Hawkins with 5 points the first half, now has 21. A 16-point burst to put his team 8 ahead at the 3:20 mark. Golston wheels it up, and Les fouled him. His first. That's another surprise, as aggressive as he is.
And he's really put the shackles on Golston over the last 10 minutes. Probably the one play that really turned this game around, if you can point to one play, is when he and Golston really had a one-on-one battle. Les stripped it away and hit Hawkins for the dunk on the transition. It was not only an important basket, but the crowd really got roaring after that.
Golston, the best free thrower on the Loyola team, sticks that one in. He's an 87% free throw shooter. Loyola within 6. 22 for Carl Golston. There's room for the little man in the game. Les uses Greg Jones on the right wing. Trempy pushes it to Hawkins, who pulls the trigger.
23 points for the Hawk.
He's a clinic.
He is unbelievable on both ends.
Bernard Jackson needs to shoot. He turns and does. He's had the hot hand, and he's gone away from his shot. That's 23 for Jackson. 71-65, the Braid lead. Still 2:37. Still plenty of time for the Ramblers. Now Dick Versace jumps up and yells for a timeout, which the Braves get. We'll be back at Carver Arena for the final 2:32 after this.
Start your evening off right with Live at 5. Next week, a series of in-depth reports on the terrorism problem, what can be done and what's already being done to combat it. We'll meet a Peoria printer who's making his own Christmas cards for mailing to nearly 2,000 people worldwide. Becky Oliver reports on the serious ethical decisions being made in hospital delivery rooms, plus stories on new findings about fast food fat that can hurt you. And believe it or not, polyester's making a comeback. Don't miss Live at 5.
Let's all be there. Weekday afternoons on TV 25. Once a week is never enough. Relive the saga of the Carringtons and the Colbys when Dynasty shows how the other half lives at 3. The Battle of the Sexes continues at 4 when Chuck Woolery makes the dates on Love Connection. 4:30 is time to come on down for Central Illinois' winningest half hour. The stakes are high and the price is right on TV's longest-running excitement showcase. Let's all be there on TV 25 every weekday afternoon.
We're just along for the ride down the undefeated road. This could be number 7, and you can follow the Braves as they head west when TV 25 televises, what you have your flowers in. Bradley at Colorado next Saturday night at 9. That'll be from Boulder here on TV 25.
Well, you talk about a set of textbook players. Les, 10 assists, 6 steals, 15 points. Hawkins, 3 block shots, 3 steals, 23 points. And Johansson provides the stats, and they provide the excitement. Aren't they something?
Who are our players of the game at Loyola? I believe it was Jim Les and Hersey Hawkins. Here we go with 2:32, and we're going to have to make the same kinds of decisions in the next couple of minutes.
Bradley will have the ball as they called the timeout. They have Trempy, Les, and Hawkins, Jones, and Williams. Greg Jones playing a lot of minutes in this game and helping Bradley. 2.5 to play. Bradley by a 71-65 count. Bradley taking some time off the clock. Set to play, maybe. Ball's loose. Trempy's going to get it back. Good break for Bradley. Trempy just said, get him off me to the official. Shot clock down to 17. Les just yelled Hersey. 2:09.
Trying to set some picks for him down low.
Shot clock at 9 seconds, 3 seconds on the Braves. So, the Ramblers can come now within 4. Very important trip down for Loyola. That's Mike Sinon.
And you hate to come down in the last 2.5 minutes and not even get a shot off.
Bradley sets up in the 1-3-1. Les shadows Golston. Watch Jackson. Jackson will try to shake free to Golston. He's a foul on Les. I don't know if it's a shooting foul or not, no.
That's 17 fouls on the Braves, though, so it will become a shooting foul. The one-on-one on Golston, who is a good free throw shooter, 82%. You get another look. One of those fouls, often hard to see for you. It's down low. Watch Les's hands. That's where they got him, on the 5.
Okay, that puts Golston at the line.
20 bonus for Golston. Both teams are in the bonus.
Gene Sullivan's been a long start to the year. Check it, Golston, 4 out of 4 tonight. And with 151, he's got yet another.
Regardless of what happens in this game to Loyola, you have to think that good games by Golston and Jackson might help propel them to better things. It might be better things in this game. This could cut it to 4.
It is. It's a 4-point game, 151, 24 for Golston. Brilliant game by Golston. Probably his best of the year. Trempy clears in the front court. That's that third guard that you've got in the game when Trempy's there in the backcourt.
Trevor's really sacrificed himself. They haven't taken many shots, but sent a lot of picks.
Mike Williams with ferocity went to the basket, and he's held by Ivan Young, who's strong, but he's no match for a 255-pounder.
Well, here's what you get when you have some ferocity and you also have 255 pounds on you. You just go up and over to the line, which is not a bad idea because Mike has only made 1 tonight and had a real bad time at Marquette. Still having a bad time.
1 out of 5 for Williams at the free throw line. 1.5 minutes to play now. Loyola could cut it to 2. They like Jackson and Golston to get the shots. A foul on Bradley. It's on Greg Jones, and it'll be probably Jackson at the foul line with bonus.
defensively, that's not the kind of matchup Dick Versace wants to see, and he's probably going to make some adjustments with Jimmy Less. Jones, good inside player, even though he's probably about as tall as Jackson. He's just not the kind of guy who's going to be able to guard on the perimeter.
And he's playing a bit of a wing on this defense, which takes a little foot speed sometimes. Jackson stuck it in. It's a three-point game, and Donald Powell is going to get back in for Mike Williams for Bradley. Williams has been a force on the board.
He's looking on the court, I think, and trying to find the best matchups for the kind of team Loyola's putting on there right now. That's why Powell's in the game. He'll take more.
Jackson got the fingers into the shot. It's a two-point game, 25 for Jackson. Golston and Jackson have really been something. Ball out of bounds, still to Bradley. 1:23 to protect a lead and a perfect record.
See if Bradley maybe tries to send somebody deep on this one to
give Loyola a lot of credit. Powell's come down to help. Boy, the defense now for Loyola is sticky. Hawkins with the ball. Little tricky dribble gets him in the front court. There's the time clock, and there's the whistle. Jackson is gone. Bernard Jackson, who's got 25, is out of the game on foul.
Oh, and you get the idea that Bernard, as soon as he made that foul, thought, I've got 5 fouls, I'm going to leave the game. I don't know if I wanted to do that.
Game brought to you tonight in part by Cohen's, who believes in Santa Claus, so there's no interest or payments until April on purchases of furniture, carpeting, bedding, TVs, appliances, and accessories. Minimum purchase $299 because Cohen's believes in Santa Claus. Going to the bench, Bernard Jackson with 25 points and probably his finest moment as a Rambler.
Brian Boyle, the junior, playing in his first game, will replace Jackson as he'll check in. Mike Williams back in for the Braves. So now for Bradley on the court, Trempe, Powell surrounding the free throw line. Hawk will be at the line, and Lesson Williams in the backcourt.
Hawk is 7 of 8 at the foul line tonight.
Give it to Hawk, give it to Hawk.
And he made that. 8 of 9. Percy Hawkins can be contained for 1/2. He had 5 points, but not for 2. He's got 25, a 20-point second half. Therefore, Bradley by 4, 1:10 to play. Can they hold on? Golston, blocked by Les. Golston's got it back. Loyola still got it. Senar steps in, rejected and fouled by the Braves. Good work by the Ramblers on the offensive board.
That's now 4 fouls on Mike Williams. Did a good job as he goes up. Got the ball, but got some of the body, too. And there you take a look at Mike. I don't know if that's his little shuffle or if he's asking for traveling on that call.
Senar hasn't played a lot this year. Stuck that one in. 1 minute on the clock. Loyola down 3. Bertolini in. Sophomore from St. Patrick's in Chicago. Williams sits.
So now Bradley essentially with 1, 2, 3, 4 guards.
In the clutch, Senar made them both. Loyola presses, 2 behind, a minute to play. They get it to Jim Less. Less and Hawkins now will handle the ball because they're the best foul shooters. Bertolini comes out. The game clock has 48. Shot clock 33. Bradley by 2. Backdoor Hawkins. Foul. What a nice play. Powell came to the high post and Hawk beat his man. Set play, run well.
And good patience on offense. They spread it out. That leaves a lot of room for Hawkins, and he just flies by his man.
Mike Williams just came in as a sub with so much force that he about knocked down the official timer.
I think he came in as a typhoon.
Percy Hawkins from Chicago Westinghouse, but a sophomore. And our Plaza video of Morton, player of the game again.
Well, we don't like to do the same old thing over and over, but when a guy scores 21 in 1/2, plays great defense. 26 for Hawk and 27.
He's got Bradley up by 4 with 40 seconds. The Braves play defense now and look for their 7th in a row. Boyle missed. Hawkins saved it to Young, who didn't miss. 26 seconds, a 2-point game. Timeout, Ramblers. They won't go away. And with 25 seconds to play in the game, Bradley will have to go the length of the court. Now, that was a timeout, but Loyola elected to just send the players back on the court, which they can. They have 1 timeout remaining. Bradley has 3. But if Bradley coughs off the ball here, they did, but a foul. I believe it's on Moore. The Ramblers, if that wouldn't have been a foul, would have had a chance to tie the game. It's on Andre Moore.
Not a lot of time went off the clock on that. Still 24 seconds to go.
4 fouls on Moore. And Gene Sullivan's trying everything in his bag of tricks to get this victory in Peoria.
Seemed like that time he wanted the timeout just briefly to tell them something. Knew what his defense wanted. Didn't want to make sure, or wanted to make sure Bradley didn't have time to come up with something to get the ball in bounds. It's an important free throw.
Powell, 5 of 7 from there. A 3-point Bradley lead. Important. Should it be underlined? 13 for Powell. Important contribution, too, by the sophomore. Missed. Now it's an odd score. It's 3 points, I mean, and it takes 2 trips by Loyola to take the lead. Senar comes to the lane. Moore got it down. It's a 1-point game with 14 seconds. Loyola took their final timeout. Let's see if they take them over to the sidelines. This time they will. 14 seconds in the game. Bradley leads 76-75. Loyola's out of timeouts. As you can see, Bradley has 3, and this is deja vu.
That time, Dick Versace anticipated the quick timeout, the quick pitch, if you will, as Sullivan did last time, and had Lenny Bernardini scrambling in to get into the game and check in. What Versace wants to do in this case is get as many good dribblers / foul shooters into the game as possible.
Okay, that was Andre Moore's first 2 points of the second half. You've got to believe that if Bradley puts the ball in the hands of somebody other than Jim Less or Hersey Hawkins, they'll probably get fouled, and maybe even they will with 14 seconds. But the game is 1 point now instead of 2, and the Braves are protecting only that 1-point lead. And you can look for Loyola to pick out a Brave and try to send him to the foul line.
Versace instructs his players to get the ball into Jim Less's hands as often as possible. In this case, with 14 seconds to go and a 1-point lead, he will probably demand that they get it into Jimmy Less unless he's double-teamed or something.
Bradley has turned back Loyola, Chicago State, Toledo, Northwestern, Western Illinois, and Marquette, and are within 14 seconds of their 7th win in a row. But they have the length of the floor to come, and Loyola has had a tendency tonight to make the shots all night long. Bradley has had a splurge by Hersey Hawkins in the second half and has taken a 76-75 advantage. Trempe will throw it in. Bradley lines 4 people across, and they break. Powell gives it to Less. Game clock has 10 seconds. Less fires it to Hawkins, who comes back out. 7, 6, 5. Trempe is fouled. It should be a 2-shot violation. 3 seconds left.
They don't call the intentional, I believe.
1 and bonus. The foul was on Senar and Trempe.
And this year, that is a very important rule for you to know. If they call it intentional, it becomes 2 shots and you get the ball back.
Trempe has no free throws attempted this year.
He has not been to the line.
What a place to make your first free throw attempt of the season.
3 seconds on the clock.
And it's Loyola's ball, and they can win it with a goal. 2-1 at half court. Golston missed. Bradley wins. Bradley has won its 7th in a row. 76-75. We'll catch our breath and come back in a moment.
At Shearer Buick Isuzu, we have an early Christmas gift for you. It's simple. We're removing our inventory by removing our profit. That's right, folks. We'll individually price every automobile to remove our inventory by removing our profit. Put the holiday cheer where it belongs, right here in your pocket. This Thursday, Friday, and Saturday only at Shears, Route 29. From all of us at Shearer Buick Isuzu, have a Merry Christmas.
Christmas is just around the corner, so don't miss Sherman's 1985 Christmas sale at both the Peoria and Bloomington stores. The video recorder is one of the hottest selling items this year, and they are in very short supply, as recently reported on the national news. We anticipated this heavy demand, but our sales are clipping along at a record-breaking pace.
You owe it to yourself to get the best price. So bring in our competitors' ads and prove it to yourself.
Sherman's Christmas hours are Monday through Saturday, 10 to 8, and Sunday, 12 to 5.
Bradley by 1. Fantastic performances out of the backcourt, particularly in the second half. Percy Hawkins, 27. Jim Les, 15. And Frank, they don't ask you how much you want to buy, just are you undefeated? And the Braves are.
The answer is yes. 7-0 is the season, and they'll be at Colorado next Saturday night, and you can watch it right here on Channel 25. For Mike Dimmick and our whole crew, Frank Bassoni wishing you all a very pleasant good evening from Carver Arena. Bradley wins 76-75. So long, everybody.
Massive Mike Williams, 13.
The preceding has been an exclusive presentation of 25 Sports.
Come in. You've got to see this. It's the new generation Mazda RX-7 at Heritage Buick Mazda, and it's re-engineered from the ground up. With this powerful fuel-injected rotary engine, the RX-7 can do 0 to 60 in 8 seconds. If you like luxury, the RX-7 GXL is the car for you. Electric sunroof is standard. See the RX-7 at Heritage Buick Mazda for today's best sports car value.
It's Grimm's Christmas Countdown. Don't miss your chance to save on Grimm's large selection of name brand TVs and appliances. Buy this GE Space Banker 2 microwave for $198 or this GE dishwasher for $268. Hurry to Grimm's Christmas Countdown. With prices this low, you can't afford to wait. Why not get it all? Price, service, selection, and satisfaction. The choice is yours. Grimm TV and Appliance, Morton, Peoria, and Bloomington.
Hello, I'm Father Andrew Greeley. In the new TV guide, I've suggested the Catholic priesthood owes Robert Blake a vote of thanks. Now, if you've followed Father Hardstep around Helltown, you might think he represents a hard step for a devout Catholic to take. But in my view, humanizing priests in the lively arts is a step in the right direction. After all, if the good Lord had wanted priests to be angels, why would we human beings be wearing Roman collars?
Look for Robert Blake on the cover of the new TV guide.
Whatever the weather, you can rest assured when you wake up to News 25's Winter Watch with the region's most complete school closing information, expanded storm coverage on News 25 today, and live updates all morning from throughout central Illinois. You and your family can't afford to spend weekday mornings anyplace else. When you really need to know, turn to the news leader. Rest assured with Winter Watch only on TV 25.
At the movies, Saturday nights at 6:30 on TV 25.
Pick up those feet. Jingle